Alright guys, hopefully I'm actually streaming now. Let me just double check that I am actually streaming. Good, good, good. There is. I even have excellent connection. Nice. Hopefully I got the settings correct. So
Let's
that I don't
go.
lag out or I don't have encoder overloading happening. Anyways, so welcome to the Decklist stream for this month's MSEM GP. It's a bit belated because as you can see, round 1 has already happened. Which is actually really fast, right? Because usually
I
round 1
played my
takes...
round 2 game already.
Oh, how did you do?
I lost. Basically all three, because it's buy time mirrors. We'll get into buy
Okay,
time. Basically, every game came down to: do you have buy time? No. Well, I guess I win. Yes. Well, I guess you win.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, I think the games are fun. It like in the point that everything but the actual outcome was enjoyable, and the actual outcome was just like completely miserable.
I feel like it'll be really fun to commentate though, because like the buy time footsies, trying to like when
Yeah.
you see buy time in both players' hands, and then like you're anticipating how it's going to turn out.
Because the thing about because like what ended up happening is game one, I drew a buy time, and I knew Silver was assembling the combo, so I just waited, and then I buy timed and won. Game two, neither of us saw buy times, I don't think, and I lost to just getting out controlled, mostly, and then Silver got the combo like very very late in the game.
So for those of you at home, basically,
Yeah.
if you cast buy time in response to your opponents, or if you cast buy time after your opponent's buy time resolves, they die, right? They just freaking die. Because
Yeah.
you get to take the extra turn first, which makes their buy time invincibility wear off immediately. Or, I mean, as soon as the turn ends. And then they just blow up. But, yeah, let's actually talk about... Let's actually go through... No, let's talk about the balance patches. Or did anything important happen this
So
month?
the big parts of the balance patches, at least as far as I know, latent potential got reworked.
Yep.
So it's definitely not as good as it was. I'd say probably basically
Mana.
worthless. There's maybe a deck
Yeah.
for it, but definitely not good in Phoenix anymore.
Yeah. I
And then Leech Bite.
ironically think Phoenix is still alive, but like we'll get into that once we get past like the broken stuff this month.
Yeah, I ran Sealed Gateway on my board because I figured it'd be better into Phoenix, and then no one ran Phoenix.
The latent potential, Leech Bite.
Someone was asking about Phoenix, and I gave them a list, but they didn't submit to GP.
Yeah, so Leech Bite got
And
nerfed
then,
to 3 mana,
yeah, Leech
so
Bite got nerfed.
that's probably not playable anymore.
Yeah, we do still have curses.
There's some other random changes.
It's funny because a bunch of EOW, and then Gestalt got changed, but then the Gestalt deck that people were like...
It was hilarious.
Basically, what happened is there was a Gestalt deck that was like brewed up, then people realized it didn't work, and then they changed the rules. So then, oh wow, that deck that didn't work before now actually works, and so it was broken, and they had to revert the change.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I wonder what would have happened if people didn't discover the deck on day one, and like if the people discovered the deck after it was too late to make pre-GP balance patches.
Yeah, that would.
Who knows?
I mean that's going to be another G. I feel like it's a sort of deck that won't win GPs because it's really weak to interaction. But if your opponent doesn't get turn 1 interaction exactly, then they just die.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just playing it.
But we can get into the decks.
It's definitely like beatable, but it like heavily warps the meta around it.
And do you even want to bother explaining what the deck did? For those people tuning in.
Is this Gestalt?
Yeah, it's the Osk combo deck.
Doesn't really matter now, does
it? There was basically you have Spirited, which is Ricky. I assume you're pulling up a Spirited card.
Spirited.
and you have Gestalt, and basically what you would be able to do is you were able to merge the Gestalt creature and Osk, and then add the Spirited onto using Gestalt, and basically get Spirited onto Osk in like the Dimensional Reshaper-esque way, but you use Gestalt instead of Reshaper.
Yep.
And so you kind of get to do the DMH thing, but since you can only do it with creatures, you do it with Osk.
So you make a 2020 unkillable thing, and one of your spirited guys also has haste. So yeah, you blow people up on turn 2 with a 2020.
Yep.
Yep. But since that, so then they just emergency reverted the Gestalt change, and I think they're like thinking about doing something eventually about Spirited. I think next month probably, because Spirited's going keeps breaking stuff.
Yeah, if anything, it'll be Spirited getting hit. Seems like.
All right. Anyways, let's actually go into the decks because we've spent long enough talking about random stuff. So, do you want to just go through the decks in order, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Let
sure.
me sort of nixes to you.
Do we want to ping the people
Curses.
in chat in case they can hop in and give us some insight? Nick's online right now.
I would
Nope,
I would
there.
rather get done as soon as
Okay,
possible.
cool. Yeah.
Personally.
All right. So
Let's
curses.
see, Nick.
This deck is actually kind of gross.
Whoever printed Witch Queen Yorog, what the fuck? Let's look at Witch Queen Yorog, right?
Okay.
This card is, haha, all your spells are, so it's basically the Ultra Storm Enabler in that, wow, all your spells cost, like, colored less to cast, and it deals damage based on the amount of spells you cast, and it draws whenever you cast that kind of spell. So, I don't think I need to explain why this is, like, one of the most broken Storm Enablers in, like, existence.
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah,
it looks really
disgusting.
good, but I don't think this deck has ever put up any results.
The
The
issue
only
with
reason I
Yorog
lost
is that,
to it is
like,
because I will say I did beat it because game 1 Nyx drew all 4 copies of Overactive Imagination, and game 2 they drew like 8 lands in a row. Or game 3 they drew like 8 lands in a row. If
I think
they
this deck,
didn't do that in either game, like game 2 it went off like turn 4, and like there's nothing you can do about it unless you can remove Yorog. If you can't remove Witch Queen Yorog instantly, if you can't counter it or remove it, you just lose.
Also,
Hunter's Mark and Witch Queen
yeah, for
Yorog, they can
context.
cast all their cards for free.
and
And
then
they will
also
draw
has
an immense.
prowess to
Let
just, like,
me finish
kill
both.
you.
Okay,
Yeah,
Sorry.
you can go.
I'm really
Nasty.
sorry. Both of you have a really bad fucking problem of interrupting people when they speak.
Yeah.
And it's really sickening when I'm trying to explain something and both of you are trying to interject when I'm going to be finished speaking eventually anyways.
Okay. Yeah.
But the point is it's a really disgusting deck. The actual brains of it is that middleware is whenever a curse becomes attached to a player, get exiled the top card. You make like a million of those with Overactive Imagination. You mill your opponent out. But it is a really disgusting deck when it does go off, and I wouldn't be surprised if it like still gets into top 8 because if you don't have an answer when Witchkrieger comes out, you just lose.
Okay.
On that middleware is seeing play after the change.
So, and was there something you wanted to say?
Yeah, so also Yorog has prowess, so you can also just die to it if they end up chaining enough spells together on the next turn.
Yeah. Realistically, by the time the opponent casts 18 curses, you will be dead to either Substack exploit or middleware already, but technically true.
Yeah.
So one problem with Urog is that, at least in the versions that I played before or played against before, is that sometimes you just draw lands and it bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose that's
Technically
actually
true.
a lot less likely now that you have Curse of the Tattletale. Because
with
then,
Curse of the Tattletale, it's really easy to draw like 2 or 3 cards per curse.
so then you can guarantee that you don't brick off your log.
I mean, you can never guarantee you don't break. You always just have 10 lands in a row.
Yeah,
I'd
but
say I definitely didn't feel like waiting around to see if they were gonna brick or not.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Is there anything interesting in the sideboard?
100 Years of Solitude is fun.
Yeah, it's
Pathless Shallows is better. It's basically the same thing, but it's a curse actually.
well. The thing is, this thing costs 1 mana. Pathless Shallows cost 3 mana if you don't have any setup.
Moonlight Sanctum is funny. I've known this card has existed, but I've never seen it actually get played.
I've seen it get played before. I forgot on what deck, but yeah, I don't think it actually does that much. Like or no, technically it is like it is a tax piece, so it helps against certain decks. But I think Curse actually has a decent combo matchup, right? Because it has oh, it doesn't run that much hand attack. Yeah, never mind.
This deck is a bit scary, like against, for example, Phoenix, because you get the sigils, you get the Moonlight Sanctums, and then you obviously have the Curse of the Breathless,
Yeah, main deck
which is
and the 4 main deck Curse of Doubts, so that you actually have main deck counter spells.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give it 4 chili peppers for pretty good attempt. Wait, actually I do want to also mention that it's running Curse of Encroaching Waters, which is its only green card in the entire deck. And they're trying to like turn 1 it, so I'm not sure how the mana works out for that.
I mean, you do have like Woven Network and Bastion and Nebula.
Yeah, like I suppose mana does work out, but also you're running 22 lands, and like the rule of thumb that Purple Murasaki told me about like these a Burrow Grazer effects is that you want to run at least 25 to 26 lands to make sure that they're consistently enabled on turn 1.
Yeah, I think the one game I played, it did technically, it played a land, but then Nyx didn't have an actual land drop turn 2, so it didn't actually do anything really.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
And I'm pretty sure Nyx said they would cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably would go up on like Curse of the Breathless and then 2 of something else.
Yeah. Are you also ranking are you giving the decks a number ranking? Too?
7.
Sure. 7.
Every deck's a 7.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to Canterbury Eggs Dragon Wagon.
It's dragons. I don't think this deck has changed at all since it was last played. Maybe they weren't on Ferocious Flame or Flames Approach before, but they're just burn cards.
I don't remember Ferocious Flame before. I think this was Scorch before, but
yeah,
I've seen play.
Otherwise, basically the same.
Did the previous versions?
There's a singular main deck Shikai's readout, interestingly.
I guess it's because they figured they have room to run utility lands in their 24 land mono red deck.
Mm.
Did the previous versions of mono red dragons also run Neon Claw Knight, or is that a recent addition?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they might have also run Left on the Wayside in the main, if I'm remembering right.
Oh yeah, I remember. I think Purple ran the version with Left on Wayside in the main to like turbo out your good dragons early.
Yeah.
So Neon Claw only has only 8 cards in the deck to affect, but it's still really good because like Neon Claw into Flames Approach is just excellent because you can Neon Claw to reduce your Flames Approach and get out a really big thing early. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, pretty solid deck. It's running like some colorless sideboard hate for certain decks. It's actually running a decent amount of Grave Hate. Like, it's running Pinnacle Parity and Shikai's Redoubt.
Hold Steady, obviously good.
Yeah. All right, so I'll give it like 3 chili peppers, and you guys can give it a number ranking.
I give it.
I'm feeling a 7
5 because I like this deck. Sure. Let's just keep going with 7.
Sure, let's give everything a 7.
I think it is funny we went straight from my round 1 matchup to my round 2 matchup.
Oh, so how do you think you're going? I guess we can talk about the matchup later on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when it gets to my deck.
Yeah, you sure are matched up against Egg round 2.
So moving on, Scribble is running Grixis Megalkraken.
Without the combo.
Yep.
The combo
Little note.
is not Grixis.
What?
The Megalkraken combo isn't in Grixis.
You can't play in just
Oh.
blue-red.
What? Yeah, I guess you
Just
can
worse
run
than
enough
Jeskai.
of the combo pieces.
I honestly,
Yeah.
for all the fact that I've actually started paying attention to this format, I don't get I don't get the whole buy time thing. I don't know what happened. I don't know why everyone's running buy time now.
Me neither. This completely came out
So
of left field.
basically, there are two. My understanding is Casino Scam was a deck that was. I mean, you guys both are on Project X, but I assume you don't actually read any of the stuff that goes on there.
Yeah.
But basically, there was a Casino Scam deck that was being developed before the end of last month, if I'm remembering right. And then Truk built Megalokraken combo either at the very end of last month or at the start of this month, and everyone just took their list.
Yeah, it makes sense. Truk is a very influential deck builder, surprisingly, even though they don't really show up in top 8s, right? Or I mean, they.
Truk isn't even playing this GP, but there's like 4 of their list.
Yeah, it's like Purple. Back when Purple was active, except Purple actually played in GPs some of the time, so kind of like that.
There's Karaja Headache X in here. I'd like to point out.
I mean, that's a cool card. It does stuff.
Yeah.
It's a Megalkraken target that does stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's like I'm paying 3 mana for a bounce spell, Disfigure, or Opt.
But it's uncounterable.
Discarding.
It's uncounterable opt. It gets into graveyard for Kyoro. I mean, that's probably why it's here.
Kyoro is a 1-of though, so.
And besides Megalkraken and Kyoro, you're just playing a bunch of value control cards. You're playing Reveal Eternities for card draw. You're playing Prying Inquiry for hand attack. You're playing Flames Approach because that's just a good card. You're playing Edict because now Black has enchantment answers that is playable main deck now.
Edict and Flames Approach give you like 2 double removal spells now. Though Edict does require you to pitch an extra card, but if it's like the late game and that's a land, you don't really care. You'd rather force them to sack something.
Yeah, and then you have a decent Planeswalker suite. Oh yeah, Valeri Crit Pack is also nutso. Every time I see this card in play, I wonder why the trigger ability also puts loyalty counters onto it.
Yeah, like you drop this, you plus it, you cast a Scorch Killer thing, and now you have like a 6 loyalty walker and a 1/1. Or sorry, 5.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, they're also playing Shine Dreams Command, which is a card that we haven't seen that much of after it got nerfed. Or I mean, it's not really a nerf and more of a rework. It used to have a completely different effect, but like it had a really interesting mode, first mode where it fetched 1 drop from your deck. So like people were building toolbox decks with Shine Dreams Command, which is something I kind of miss after it got nerfed.
Okay. Next up is Kraken combo.
Oh yeah. Let me just give this guy 3 chili peppers and a 7, I guess. Like Megalkraken, standard Megalkraken is probably a 7, right?
I give this 2 chili peppers because, like, you know, it's just like a standard Megalkraken deck and also hard control.
Yeah, I'll give this 1 squid out of 5.
Yeah. So moving on, And you can talk about the Metal Kraken combo deck.
Okay, so basically, the way this deck is built is your goal is that when you play Kraken, you have like a decent chance of just cloning it and blinking it enough times that you would straight up win. And you might ask then, why the hell are you running buy time in this deck? And the simple answer is, it is a extra turn spell that is able to be cast by Kraken, which basically means you don't actually need to haste out all the Krakens or hit a bunch of Conquer Psyches. You can just like get to the buy time, and then on their turn, you get to swing out and just yeah.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the deck is basically stuff that does something and also clones, and also Conquer Psyche, which is just straight up a clone spell, and also Lava Spill.
Yeah, it's also running Cane Dancer package, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Lava Spill, Root Corruption, and Nebulous Majesty.
And Endeavor.
Thrasios' Endeavor.
Yeah.
And I also noticed that it's running the Dragon Dancer, which I assume is a way to ramp into the Kraken.
Yeah, and it gives you an extra land as well, because you'll note that this deck only runs 21 lands because it so it doesn't whiff as much off the Krakens.
Yeah. It's also running a bunch of Sunrise lands. I think people have noted in chat how these lands are actually kind of busto, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I should probably open up chat.
Or I mean Discord, not chat, but
Oh.
yeah. I mean that's something people have been noting quite a bit, but I think this GP actually has more Sunrise lands than every other GP before because four people are on Casino Scam or Kraken, which are lands that or decks that run these Sunrise lands in bulk, right? And also it's running root corruption, shifting lands as it's some extra ramp to get into Metal Kraken early, right? Is that how?
I've opened up chat. Okay, no one said anything except for Zangi. Okay, I give this 5 chili peppers because I'm playing it.
And can you talk about the sideboard choices because there's some pretty interesting cards in the sideboard.
I didn't make this, but Centered Acolyte obviously just busted. I've played this in the blue-white tempo deck, and this card is just insane.
Yeah, but why is it in the
It also
sideboard?
can. Not really sure. Again, like it's just another way you can shift to a more like tempo-y game plan, I guess, if you're facing like a super interactive deck. So you're not as like all in on the combo and you have more threat, just like your Krakens and your Dragons.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then also Veilborn Meddler kind of does the same thing while also answering. Spell Pierce probably doesn't need an explanation. Same with Fires of Renewal and Pinnacle, just like Grave Hate, anti-aggro. And then Fading Words, I assume, is just an anti-aggro card. Just gives you card selection and gains life.
I mean, Fading Words wouldn't be my first choice, but I suppose it does work. Like, it synergizes with Cane Dancer, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, actually...
I guess it's kind of the anti-burn plan, I guess, also.
I mean, actually, yeah, you can just...
That's why people ran Fading Words originally, is because the life gain is really useful against burn.
I suppose you actually can just board into a Veilborn Meddler tempo deck against burn. Like, you have Cane Dancer, so, like, you're halfway there to a team or tempo deck, right? So just board in Meddler, Centered Acolyte, maybe take out some combo pieces, and then you can just pretend to be a tempo deck.
Board out like the Conquer Psyches and such.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, this deck's very interesting. I'll give it 5 chili peppers.
I think this deck is above a 7.
7.5?
Sure.
No, I think it's a 7.
Sure, why not? Let's keep it going.
Sure.
It's Ricky's deck now.
Yay. Okay, so it's basically the same deck as before, but I changed some sideboard choices. So
It's
you may notice that I'm now running Margaret Barton in the sideboard. So last GP, I think my only loss was to Phoenix. So I learned that Tal does not actually stop Phoenix because Phoenix plays both instants and sorceries. So now I've added Margaret Barton to the sideboard so that I can stop Phoenix more reliably. I've also bumped my number of Henrys up to 2 so that I can stop Phoenix more reliably. I think like on my sideboard.
Phoenix.
Yeah. I think I've just been traumatized so much by Phoenix so that like I'm dedicating all my changes to dealing with Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh, I also added one Ethereum Abrogator. Because I was running this deck in League while the Gestalt deck was not nerfed. So I added in Abrogator to like try to at least stop the Gestalt thing from going off. I don't think it worked. But the good news is that the Gestalt combo no longer exists. But apparently I'm still keeping this card in my deck because it's probably good against some matchup.
I mean, yeah, it's good.
It turns off half my deck, but I'm hoping that
it does actually screw up Megalokraken combo.
Doesn't this just get blown up by removal off Megalokraken?
Probably, but like also their Kraken isn't triggering if on enters. But does your deck really have that much tools to deal with a resolved Megalokraken?
Actually, my plan against Megalokraken is to just board in the Henrys and Margaret Bartons, and then that prevents Megalokraken from going off because now you need to pay for your free spells. Which I think is a much better plan than trying to stick an Ethereum Abrogator and that thing getting removed. But, like, does the Megalokraken deck have a good way of killing Henry?
Not really, I don't think, because the main removal spell is Lava Spill.
Yeah, like, they don't actually sideboard any other removal, right? Like, how do they deal with a resolved Henry?
I mean, not really. They just kind of, like, you kind of have to have 2 Lava Spills.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or you just win through playing fairly, but all your stuff costs 1 more mana. So you're not really going to be doing that.
Yep. But otherwise, the only change main deck from last month is that I now have a main deck Tau. I'm not sure why I chose Tau instead of any of the other sideboard options. But maybe Tau does something useful.
It has flying.
It's flying. It has it's castable off just blue. I guess it's legendary for story count. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I'll give myself a 5 chili pepper, and is this deck still a 7?
Yeah,
Sure.
definitely.
I'll give you 2 chili peppers because, like, eventually you gotta pick up a different deck, right, Ricky?
I'll pick up a new deck once this one gets nerfed. That's usually how it goes. Either that or
okay.
Yeah. So moving on, Bravos is also running a ramp deck.
It's the Sanctuary ramp deck still, it looks like. I don't think there's been very many changes I'm looking at.
I mean, if you look at Discord, apparently they bumped up the number of Reclamation Grove sculptures. I'm not sure what they cut for that, but I think that's what they did.
That is a good card.
Yeah. I feel like every time I play against this deck, I just live in dread of what if they draw the Grove Sculptor and now I can't cast spells?
Play decks that play more lands.
Yeah.
Stop playing one land decks.
What do you mean? My 13 land deck isn't that good? Isn't running a lot?
But I think for the most part. Okay, so for those of you at home, because this deck, I don't think Ravos has played in a bit of time. So basically, the main combo here is that you have Verdant Sanctuary, which lets you play basics from your sideboard, and you have Trubagia and Pebble Weaver Alexa, which gives you extra land drops. So with Verdant Sanctuary in play, you don't have to worry about not having enough lands in hand, so you can just like freely get your extra land drops. And that actually lets you ramp really fast. And then the rest of the deck is, I guess, just to take advantage of the fact that you have all that mana after a while. It's also playing Secret Elizabeth because that's Dravos' pet card.
Has it gone down in copies, or was it always at 2?
I'm pretty sure it's gone down in copies. So maybe Dravos is starting to get over their pet card. Yeah, like this deck is very scary if it manages to do the thing that it wants to do, which is to get out an early Pebble Weaver Alexa or Drubagia to get your extra land drops, and then you find Verdant Sanctuary so that you can drop a bunch of extra lands, and then you basically get to 7 mana on turn 4 or something insane like that. And then you just try to... And Drubagia is actually a win condition on its own, because if you sink enough mana into it, you get to animate all your lands and then kill your opponent. So yeah, this deck is very scary if it manages to do the thing that it wants to do. And it's actually not that, or it's actually not that fragile, because you're still playing decently good mid-range cards. At least you're playing some number of decently good mid-range cards, so you could just draw your lands naturally and then top deck your 5-drop and then try to win that way.
Also, we're playing Luxury Rift, I guess.
That card has always been in the deck.
Oh, huh.
It's an extra turn spell, which apparently is pretty decent. At least that's what Splash Cat told me.
Yeah, there's a couple of these weird one-ofs in this deck. That and like Mist Hollow, right?
Eviana as well.
Yeah. No, Eviana is actually really good, apparently.
Yeah, Eviana's really good, actually.
Like, you just need good ramp top end. I'm more like concerned about the one of mana aesthetic, because like I'm not sure why you're playing one of mana aesthetic. I guess you want to hit your ratios or something, but I wouldn't like I would be running one of mana aesthetic, because I feel like maybe I don't know enough about the ratios that this deck wants. Maybe it just wants enough 1-drop rampers that you're playing one extra mana aesthetic plus the 4 primals. But anyways, the sideboard's not that interesting because you have to play all these basics, but it is running more Reclamation Grove Sculptors. It goes up to 4 copies of Reclamation Grove Sculptors post board for certain matchups. I feel like that might be too many Reclamation Grove Sculptors, because like if you want your Silver Bullet to... Like, you don't want your Silver Bullet to be a 5-drop card that you need to have your ramp plan go correctly in order to actually play. But anyways, I'll give it 4 Chili Peppers because, I mean, I like that deck. It's a ramp deck. I can't
give it like a 2 again. Travis plays this deck every time, so
1 Petal Weaver out of 5.
It doesn't run Petal Weavers, right?
It's on 4 Petal Weaver Alexa.
It's not running Petal Weavers. Oh wait, no,
what?
Not Petal Scatter. I'm confusing Petal Weavers and Petal Scatterers.
Oh my days.
Wow, Ricky.
Yeah. I mean,
truly ramp pilled and enchantment ramp cell.
Anyways, so probably a 7 out of 10. Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, I'm
Sure.
feeling a 7. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Cyber is playing Jund.
Boomer Jund.
Let's go.
So it's also
I mean, I respect it.
so the interesting card here is Gerald Fugitive, which lets you recast instants and sorceries from your graveyard for value.
Mhm.
You have like a decent number of instants and sorceries in your graveyard that you can recast for value.
Mhm.
Yeah. The one question I have about this deck is why are we only running 2 Chili? Because to my understanding, this card is like kind of like stupid.
It's a lot worse than you think. Like, yeah, it looks
It
really nuts
doesn't.
when you read it, but in the entire history of the
is.
format, like when you actually play out this card, you'll see what I mean.
It's not 2021 anymore.
I don't think this card was even good
It
in
is
2021.
this. I mean, I don't remember for sure, but I feel like this card has been. There was a time where it was like a staple of a certain kind of graveyard using Jund or Golgari deck. But nowadays, I think there's just. I think it's just too slow now
Yeah,
for most circumstances.
it's bad. It's bad in the same way that Dark Confidant is bad these days. Except,
But back in the day, you could run the table with a Chili.
could you? I feel like it.
You
Like,
could run. You put 4 of it in your deck, and they let you walk into top 8.
I need to actually look
Those
up
were the
Chili.
days.
I need to actually look up the history of this deck or card. Wait, don't we have stat decks now? Yeah, and
Do
look
we?
up
We have,
Chili on stat decks.
We have weird stat decks.
Okay, yeah, just look it up, and can you send me the link too, in case I want to stick it on stream.
LuckyBot.com MSEM search Chi Lee. Click on it.
Okay, but looking at the other cards while Ange does the search, we're playing a lot of Hellion Devastators, which is always a card that, like it.
Oh, I see a deck from November 2021.
Oh, okay, yeah, send me the link.
Oh, September 2020.
Yeah,
Early boomer done.
Chile. Cyber says that Chile's was insane back in the day. Was it really?
You weren't even there, Ricky.
Exactly.
You weren't there when this was running the world.
September 2020.
Oh.
Absent Chile.
I was not playing
Running
back in 2021. I was only playing during the
Dark
Okay,
Bargain. Its only creatures are 4 Chilis, a bunch of Planeswalkers, Intrepid, Dark Bargain.
which deck are you looking
Send
at?
on the Helpless.
What is that? Good.
I'm looking at Pip's deck from. It says it's from September 2020.
Okay.
Because this was just the oldest
Kumo,
one.
who stands alone. Yo.
Well, remember back when that card was good?
Descend on the helpless. Oh, those were the days.
I mean, I'm
Those
pretty sure
were the
Descend
days.
did get nerfed. Like, it used to be 1 mana, so it's not showing up.
Yeah, say this.
For some
Yeah,
reason, though.
this was pre-nerf Descend the Helpless, but it was 1 mana and it was runnable.
Descend.
Kumo?
I mean, that's like Descend is like kind of okay. Like, obviously, the Flames approach is like probably definitely better, but
1 mana damn deal. 1 mana back then. Whatever old Intrepid was, I don't know, the cards changed like
Old
12
Intrepid
times.
was Old Intrepid, I think, was like a 4/4 and had Vigilance or something.
Yeah, I
It
think
looks
so.
like it was a 4-drop. It was I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, I'm looking at the Instigator changelog, but it's the Instigator changelog, so it's like, haha, Crew 2 has been reverted to Wanderlust 0, but it doesn't tell us the change where it gone with Crew 2.
Yeah.
I think it was originally 3 mana. I think it's the exact same card as now, except it was a 4/4 with vigilance and flying.
It definitely had better. It definitely had like vigilance or something.
Yeah. All right, enough
Oh,
talking
those are
about
the days.
other people's decks. Let's actually go back to Cybersec.
Enough reminiscing on the past.
So, what are your thoughts about Horizon Wayfarer? Because that card does not see that much play.
It's a magic card. I don't know how to feel about Horizon Wayfarer. Like it's a body.
Wait, 4 mana
I mean,
5/5
it's
air?
big.
4 mana 5.
4 mana 5/5.
Sure, yeah.
Intrepid. Okay.
That was like the first card I remember being like not fair. Was Intrepid. Let me see if I can find. I want to see if I find an old Lackey Bot query that has it.
Okay, while you're looking for that, so Ant, what are your thoughts about Horizon Wayfarer in this deck?
I mean, it sure is big, but like, are you really looking for stats in this deck? Like, I don't know. Obviously, Cyber is in voice chats, but I assume the stream is delayed a bit, so maybe we'll hear a response. But I feel like there are better options than this. Like, I don't know.
I think they're playing.
You could shift to more red, play Neon Claw.
Oh yeah, actually,
which
Neon
I
Claw
like,
does fit
but-
quite well in this deck.
Yeah.
You probably have to change up the spell suite a bit, but like,
Yeah, but Flames
not
Approach,
too much.
like Neon Claw Flames Approach
Yeah.
is just a very solid package. But
Yeah.
like you also have Gerald, so I guess you don't want to eat up your graveyard, or you don't want your cards to also have flashback when you want Gerald. Oh,
it also
they're
is
playing
a 3/1.
They're playing Horizon
is-
Wayfarer as a Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think this
Now,
thing.
when you think of it that way, it makes it sound worse because as Boomer gunned as Tarmogoyf is, it's not really a runnable card. And
Also,
think
isn't this like worse than Tarmogoyf?
it has lower floor, higher ceiling,
yeah,
but the floor is a lot lower.
and I don't know when the first Intrepid nerf was, but the version I'm finding was 3 mana. The earliest version is 3 mana, flying vigilance for a 5/5.
Ah,
And you need Wanderlust
Oh
to
my
turn it
God.
on.
Oh my god.
And then from there, it looks like it became a 3 mana 4/4 without vigilance. And then we got the rest of nerfs that are actually logged.
Oh.
amazing.
From what Purple said, from what I remember, there's not great red spells past burn to play for the mana reduction. I mean,
oh, it's forwarded.
I don't think
Okay.
it's that bad to play burn spells. I don't know.
I mean, I think we've maybe discussed this deck enough.
yeah, we probably did.
And especially, I think we did spend a lot of time talking about the past, but it's not. Boomerjund is not a particularly deep deck.
Oh, right. Let me see. Cyber saying stuff. Let's see what they're saying. Not.
Yeah, they were saying I was thinking about NCN, but couldn't figure out the conversion in time.
It's much. Horizon Wayfarer is much better than Goyf. Really? I mean, isn't Goyf like 4/5 when you're on 3 lands? Horizon Wayfarer, you need to actually get lands to play for it to be big.
Yeah.
I mean, because it is a point, it does have a very high ceiling. You can easily get like a 6/6, 7/7 like giant Horizon Wayfarer. Tarmogoyf just doesn't have that ceiling most of the time. I mean, but people run like what Barrow Goyf now. But like the ceiling is a lot higher, I think would be the reason.
Yeah. Can we also like mention the human frailty in the sideboard? Did you even know this card was in the format?
Absolutely, I knew that card was in the format.
So like 1 mana destroy target human.
Yeah, it's a cannon card too, I believe.
It is.
Yeah, this is a cannon card, right?
So
Yeah, it's from
Yeah.
Avacyn Restored.
So
Olivia Valderin is now canon in MSEM, so we can just reprint
Not
this.
true.
so why do you think they're playing this card?
Good question.
Is there like
Kill humans.
it's
A lot
funny.
of the Gestalt stuff was human,
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
fair
your one
enough.
MV interaction against that attack.
Yeah. Cyber says that yeah, Horizon Wayfarer is bigger and it doesn't lose to Grave Hate.
Which, especially in a GP after Phoenix, is a very meaningful difference.
Yeah, and also like you don't have to worry about eating up your own graveyard when you're playing Horizon Wayfarer. Baraglyph eats Wayfarer's lunch, but
Baraglyph eats a lot of things lunch, but
what is
luckily it's
Baraglyph
not
anyways?
the format. It's a cannon card. It's 3 mana for a Death Touch Lifelinker with Goyf text, and also when it deals combat damage, you get a mill and put a card that you milled into your hand. It's gross.
It's Legacy.
Hear me out. We
But
should add
there's a-
Necrogoyf to MSEM.
let's just add Modern Horizons 3 into the
Wait, they said
Wait,
that
wrong Goyf.
formats. You have
Another Goyf. Necrogoyf is the madness one.
another
Nether
Goyf is the Modern Horizons 3 card.
apparently Human Frailty in the sideboard to beat my deck.
Ricky, that's. Let's go.
Does it?
Does it?
I don't think it beats my deck. I don't run that many humans. I hit
It
several.
hits-
Well, it killed.
It
It's
just hates hate bears.
several
Yeah, I guess it hits
several
the hate bears.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right, I think
Yeah,
let's just give this deck a rating. I'll give it like 4 chili peppers for trying to make this
Let's give
deck
it a
work.
7.
definitely a 7 out of 10.
I mean, Jund is a very 7 deck, right? Because it's always middle of the road.
Boomer Jund. 5 chili peppers, easy.
I'm gonna
I
give
might not
this.
be a boomer.
I'm giving this 4 boomers out of 5.
I might not be a
Oh.
boomer, but I can still respect it, you know?
I absolutely respect any deck with Hellion Devastator in it,
Yeah,
and Chile,
I agree.
and Valdez. Like, I don't play it anymore, but Jund was my first love in MSEM.
And that was before all these half these cards got printed, or half the cards that
these-
this deck is running got printed. So it's not really that boomer.
That was before. That was before Asalia, before Gerald.
Before
and
Valdez,
Apprentice's
right?
Endeavor was in the format. Yeah, I think I was.
Like,
I think I was Junded it before Valdez came out. Yeah.
I have basically no
very well said.
conception of like the order that MSEM sets were released before Act.
Same for me, except
keep-
it's before when I joined, so it was before Alkaba.
Yeah. Valdez has been so good for so long that I forget it has not always been around sometimes.
Yeah, Valdez got
But
released.
there was
When was Valdez released?
probably 2022.
Yeah,
guess.
2022.
Well, Enora.
Yeah, it says
Yeah.
2022.
It actually came out slightly before Nora because it was part of the wild card.
This guy.
Oh. Thanks for the respect.
Flated instantly. I'm sorry, Ricky.
Yeah, 2022 0101.
Because I remember Over the Horizon especially coming out, and I was like, this is so cool. It's like Modern Horizons, but MSEM.
Now
Oh,
every
yeah.
MSEM set is Modern Horizon Smile.
Now every modern set is Modern Horizons. But like I remember because there was like what's oh now I can't remember the name. There was the like red spellcast as like Rogor?
Rogar.
Rogar, yeah, they printed the creature Rogar. And I was like, yo, like the dude with the Frenzy and the Gambit. Holy shit. It's peak.
Oh yeah, Rograk.
What?
I do love the Care Keep lore. It is amazing.
Anyways, okay, the boomier version of the deck would be on Conspiracy of Ravens.
Oh,
I remember. So, fun fact. The main deck I was playing when I joined the format was was running Conspiracy of Ravens. Was running Conspiracy of Ravens. That being Grixis Shadow.
I love taking the occasional trip down memory lane. It
Okay.
feels good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on though. Let's not spend too much time in the past.
Wizardness is on Sultai Concord, which I just beat in round 1.
This deck is like.
So it's like it's a Concord deck, but it's also running Gerald's Wretched Cure. So it's like trying to Concord on the battlefield and Concord in the graveyard at the same time. It's also running Irreverent Synscape. So like there's 2 cards that care about Delirium, and then 8 cards that care about Concord on the battlefield. It is a very solid mid-range deck, I think. Like Seismic Colossus is against certain decks, they just can't beat Seismic Colossus.
Yeah, just a 5 mana lifelinker.
It's 4 mana actually.
Haste.
It's 4 mana.
My understanding of this deck is that my pure, super awesome and cool Bant Concord deck got turned into a monstrosity running cards like Battles and Planeswalkers. Can you believe this?
Well, I mean, they're also trying to do Delirium stuff with Gerald Wretched Cure, so that's why they have to go the extra mile on the card types.
I am surprised to see T of Augury here.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, like, it does draw a card. No, it's not even card draw. It's from your graveyard. Never mind. Yeah, it does draw cards. Like if you have a stocked graveyard. It is a very slow engine. I suppose like they're probably running it because it's an artifact. I do think like this card probably could be replaced by something better. At least it's one of the more replaceable cards in this deck.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they're running a huge pile of Planeswalkers, which they can fetch with Gerald Wretched Cure. Wretched Cure also is a win con because you can start animating stuff and beating people down with it. Donage Rising. Oh wait, does it still render? Does it not recognize battles as a card type? Because Donage Rising is under other.
I assume it just doesn't recognize battles.
Well, I guess we can blame Cajun for that.
True. Battles have been kind of I think Donage Rising is the only one that's actually seen play. And since it's been up and down, it's the only thing that would go into other anyways. It's probably not a priority.
Yeah, Donage Rising is the only one that sees play because it's the only one that has like an unfair mode of just blanking your hand attack.
People just aren't rising their Donage like they used to.
Yeah.
But
pretty solid.
Remember when this was the card in Fickle Shaper that you had to get rid of before you could combo?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, remember back when Fickle Shaper was a thing before they nerfed all the blink stuff? I think that was only a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
Fickle Shaper? Was Fickle Shaper like it feels like a year ago?
Well, the good versions of the deck that got
2024.
Let me see.
It was GPL. It looks like was the last time Fickle Shaper was the one, which so is January this year.
This year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess one more thing that's interesting here is that they're running Remnant of Past Realities as their Grave Hate It's like one of the many relic of progenitus effects in this format, but it's one that I don't think I've seen before.
Yeah, there's lots of cards that exile Graveyard.
How does it compare against the
and it
other
is-
cards like this?
I think the main thing is it has to exile opponents' graveyards, so that limits your options a little bit.
Whoa, Flesh to Rot.
Flesh to Rot. Ay caramba.
All right. Is there anything else we need to say about this deck? Not really. I don't think. I mean, like is just a solid mid-range deck with the Concord plan and the Delirium plan. Yeah, let's just get. 3 chili peppers, 7 out of 10. Let's move on.
Yeah, definitely so. So this one, I don't know what to name this deck. It's basically the shell that is like mono. It's kind of the shell that was mono white tempo. It is in blue to get a moment in time, and it's also running Anamorph.
I think
to get Zaire Heart transformed.
If I remember right, this is the original shell that the mono white tempo deck was. But then they changed it because they realized, wait, this deck is just good enough as a tempo deck. You don't need to play the whole polymorph combo. But the polymorph version still exists, and it looks like Gao decided to run that.
No, I'm pretty sure this Flash Soldiers version existed first, and then Gao decided to jam polymorph into it.
I never saw this deck before the polymorph version, but that also might just be me.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Trumpek was running mono white Flash Soldiers before the set before Valenci's End came out.
Yeah.
But either ways, like this is yeah, very solid. It's like it's a tempo deck that has a big thing they can polymorph into. In the sideboard, it's running more polymorph targets. It's running Time Tributes and Desert Worms.
Desert Worms.
The
brownest card in the format.
Oh yeah, right. So it's also running Sacralize. I guess that's the pickups from a new set. Yeah. It's running Cheap Block. Wait,
I mean, other than Desert Worms and Tyrant, I'm pretty sure this is the same sideboard that the mono white tempo decks ran.
My computer has
I'm not sure of that.
On charge. I'm gonna reconnect from my phone.
Not sure of that.
Do people still run Cheap Block after it got nerfed? Like
looking at the version that Requiem ran in GPQ, the sideboard is Sacralize, Cheap Block, Assessment of Virtue, and Tenuous Existence.
So it actually is running Cheap Block. Like it's not just a mistake of submitting, like not updating the deck after Cheap Block got nerfed.
Cheap Block has been nerfed for so long. There's no way that could have happened.
I don't remember when it got nerfed. I just remember it being somewhat recent.
Let's see. December of 2023.
What? Was it really that long ago?
It's been a year and a half. It was in the same. It was the same patch that changed the Torment lands to creature lands.
I'm starting to lose track of time these days.
Oh yeah, these days.
Okay. Anyways, I'll give this 4 chili peppers. I mean, I do like seeing this deck because it is one of the it is one of Gal's more interesting brews.
Yeah, I'll give this a 2 knights out of 5. And definitely a 7 out of 10. Just feels right.
Sure. Is Asti is Engineer still trying to get back? Well, I guess we can just move on.
Yeah. Elf Ball rushes back on elves.
Is this version better than the last one that we saw?
I don't know if it's different than the last one. Let's see.
Was the last one running
pull
rallying
up.
banners?
No.
So
It looks like they cut Helenor and one of something else to make room for the rallying banners. And we cannot. Oh, we can hear you now.
yeah, elves. So
Yeah.
thoughts about elves?
So I beat this deck round 1, if I'm remembering right. Yes. It was like the whole like you own the scavenger and like the Modric Terrier. That whole cycle, you know, obviously just like a whole bunch of pretty stupid cards and kind of nuts in every whatever type of deck they're being played in, and like it's not different in elves. And then you also get to selective breeding it out sometimes, so that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it is still like a typo deck that ultimately is winning through creature combat and is playing like pretty fair. So it does have some challenges.
So what are your thoughts about the inclusion of rallying banners? Do you still think this card's like not good?
I think this card is like fine, but also because in the game I played against Cyber, it was basically letting Cyber keep like greedier hands by keeping like low land count hands, because rallying banners could act as like better lands because it taps her effectively too,
Right.
which is nice. But then I ended up destroying it, and because they kept the greedy hands, I was able to combo faster than they could rebuild. And that's how I won one of the games.
Fair enough.
So it's like
Mhm.
it can do some nut stuff, but it is very vulnerable to interaction.
I guess one other question. So how good was Hearthfire Disciple? Because I feel like Hearthfire Disciple is one of the cards that stands out here, or one of the cards that looks really nutso.
The Fire Disciple was just like fine in when it was played against me. Like, the main reason it was good in the matchup is it survived Fires of Renewal, which is the main like card, that cyborg card that comes out for this matchup.
Right.
So it does survive like 2 damage board wipes, and it is basically a +1/+0 lord that also is an AA.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely true.
Is there like any elves that deal non-combat damage? Because this Hearthfire triggers off non-combat damage, right?
Oh, there's none in the deck.
Well,
Well,
The
there is
Wildfire one deals non-combat damage on like 3rd spell, I think.
if
when you cast your 3rd spell each turn, it deals 2 damage to some.
Cool.
But
Cool.
Okay,
All
I
right.
gotta go now. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Ange. They not even get to talk about their own deck, or no, they did talk about Mega Kraken combo. All right, Crush Castle will 3 chili peppers, I guess. It's like kind of train wreck. Are you going to not give this a 7?
this is a 7 for sure.
Really? You think it's on the same level?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a bit, Ricky. It's a bit. Follow along with the bit.
Sure.
No one cares about the rankings. Everything's a 7.
Nobody cares about rankings unless we have someone who's actually good at the game in the commentary booth, in which case the rankings do matter.
That's true.
Unfortunately,
well,
we don't have anyone.
We don't right now.
Yeah, engineers busy, so. All right, moving on. We see our first casino scam list.
Great casino scam, yeah.
So, do you want to talk about the deck first, or should I talk about the deck first?
It's casino scam, which hasn't been played in a moment. If you don't know how this deck works, it's all or nothing. All or nothing. You choose a number, reveal many cards in top of your library, put them in your hand, lose up to no mana value. If you played by time before that, because you can't, you can't gain life, but it doesn't matter what your life total is. So you just lose like 100 life, put all your deck in your hand, and then, for example, you can discard it all and then win through Sacred Songs. And I'm pretty sure that's this deck's win con.
Yep.
Other than that, it's mostly an ordinary kind of control deck. It's on Unrelenting, which I think is a buy time specific card because it gets you buy time and all or nothing.
Yep. It also does.
Fuel for the Fire, and Abraxia's Endeavor, Root Corruption because you're on Shiftscape mana, and a lot of Sunrise lands.
Yeah.
Because only Shiftscape and Sunrise lands.
People have finally realized that Sunrise lands are busto, and they're taking full advantage of it.
Kind of good, yeah.
So the interesting things to note here is that they're on Cosmic Coalescing, which means they now have a Cosmic Coalescing board. Wait, are they running Megalocrakens in the board? Huh.
Yeah, there's Megalocrakens in the board. I mean, I guess there's times we bring it in. So maybe I don't know when.
They have Megalocraken. I guess they bring it in when by time when the combo plan doesn't work out. So then you just bring in Megalocraken and Kripek and just play as a Grixis Megalocraken deck. Because
you could
like, how many cards of difference is there between this deck and the Grixis Megalocraken deck after sideboarding, right? If you really think about it.
I mean, I guess, yeah. But there's also Alchemical Warfare, which is a card. It definitely seems busted on its face, but I don't know how it's done.
I think it's played pretty well for most people.
Yeah.
And also, just to mention, Neon Claw Knight is a really good pickup for this deck because you can use it to cost reduce your combo pieces. You can give your combo pieces uncounterable. I guess there's going to be games where you can buff your burn spells and then you can kill bigger stuff. Like Neon Claw Knight just does everything you want to do.
Yeah. It is a really good card. Yeah. Very, like you said, it does pretty much anything you want to do in a kind of combo control list like this.
It can even beat down people so that you have an alternative game plan. They can't just wait forever.
Yeah. It is literally like a 3-1. It's very good in combat.
So yeah, I mean, I'll give it 4 Chili Peppers because the deck's still interesting for now, but I feel like it's going to get very boring soon.
I'll give it 2 Chili Peppers, if only because while this is a unique deck, it's kind of just bits of 2 decks put together.
Really?
It's kind of it kind of feels like I mean, like you said, it's kind of like a Megalocraken deck, but minus some cards you only run a Megalocraken and running Casino Scam cards instead.
I feel like
it doesn't feel like something I haven't seen before.
I feel like that's the wrong way to go about it. I think the better way to go about it is that Megalocraken is a Grixis late game deck. This is also a Grixis late game deck. It's just that their win conditions are different.
Yeah. But my point still stands that it doesn't feel like anything new, and I like being picky with my Chili Peppers / other relevant emojis.
All right, moving on. Is this the exact same list? Yes, it is. Copy paste and move on. It's this exact same list. Copy paste and move on. Cool. All right.
Man, we just banged out 3. Look how fast we went.
Exactly.
Holy moly.
Okay, Pipsqueak. They're playing the game right now. Do you want to just randomly jump in and commentate?
We're kind of in the middle of something.
I mean,
and also it started 10 minutes ago now.
There's actually nothing preventing us from just jumping in and taking a look at what's going on so far. I
can do that if you wanna.
I can also do that.
I guess you're the one filming.
Assuming that OBS doesn't blow up, because I'm not sure how good OBS is at streaming gameplay, because I never tried doing that before.
Yeah, the last time I remember gameplay getting streamed was back when Goldmine, was it? I don't remember. It was a 2-mana enchantment. Dwindling Stores, I believe.
Yeah.
It's when there was a dwindling stores combo deck that people ran,
Oh, I'm lagging really badly
and
right now.
the finals. You don't have to stream it then.
Yeah, it's funny. Okay, let's see if. Yeah, there you go. Can you see? You can, right?
We'll say the Horizon Wafers are putting in work for Cyber right now. They're both
they?
5/5.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
actually doing work. Piven's definitely on the ropes right now.
Yeah. Okay, my images aren't loading right now.
I mean,
for some reason. I think I'm.
the stream is way behind for me, so I don't know.
Okay, but yeah.
But this deck you run and you should base a bunch of foil counters on it that you can take an extra turn with a second ability to do a double. You can definitely win the game. So the main combo plan, it's got kind of a package, so it's on Dash, it's a Fuse, and it's on Unceasing Flames as a part of that for cohort in order to get Planeswalker. It's also on the Seto-san and the Margon for certain board states. There's also Call of the Huma, which lets you get creature and cards back out of your yard and damage or something.
The main thing in the board is Zog for anti-mail, I'm assuming.
Zog, there's a few other like legendaries. These Tiny Hero Anti-Mistake, which I don't think I've ever seen.
I did before.
I forgot that then.
Yeah.
And it's only Queen's Duty, good card. I mean, more Acumen, also a very good card.
Like, yeah, the deck is right forward in what it wants to do. I just one cohort, but it's running cards like Chili Pepper. I give it 3 Chili Peppers, like not. I'm being likely. I should have risk me.
Yeah. I have this as Piss Call in it. Give this 2 to 5. And I think it's
there's a synology. I didn't read that.
Yeah, the is woman and woman sing kissing pairs.
So, Asti, what about your deck?
Oh yeah, I have this deck for it's players. The only real differences I think is I don't know if I changed any cards in the main board. I did Sunrise Lands because some are very good. And then in the board I added Tau because pretty much as you said, the anti plan.
Tau's horrible.
Sorceries. I figured hitting sorceries would slow down enough and to still have to check out.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, the sideboard is I got rid of one still the Pandemonium. I didn't get that much, I found. And I got rid of the Imagines because it's in a real deck anymore. And I put Talon instead, since it is probably the best option like that. It's terrible. I mean, it's good against curses, it's good against Phoenix. Like, there's a couple of decks it's quite good against. And in general, if you get a control deck and get instants named or something like that, quite happy. Because all interaction is creatures, so it's good at being one-sided. But not like, I mean, you've seen this deck before, Conjurant.
Yeah, I've seen this deck before. I certainly have seen this deck before.
You basically try and play a creature on one, then have a bunch of remand is a creature. So it's basically like a 2-for-1. You use this for some card draw. What's considering moving like one Claw Streaker? It's just a good idea. And the fact it can survive stuff, like can survive 3 damage if you have Farwandering Guardian or just Farwandering Guardian. Actually very useful.
All right, you've done to get even interesting deck. I see it.
I'll give it 5 birds out of 5, and a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
I'm glad that the like random type I made is actually runnable. Sure.
Yeah, don't you love when that happens? I like it when the random that I made nerfs to happen.
I don't know if we're ever gonna get nerfed. I don't think any of these cards enough.
I think some cards here have eaten nerfs before, but not because of birds.
Like, the only thing I could think of is that, like, I think if Crossing gets picked up by another, it doesn't more way. I think it's just slightly too fair.
Yeah.
Like, maybe like Fairy Information goes down to Scry 1, they nerf deck. But I don't know.
It did the Sunrise Lands.
Yeah, I did good about the Sunrise Lands, so
hopefully you do even better, I guess. Now you have them.
Yeah, game 1 it didn't matter to me. I just didn't draw. It's very good. This card, a lot of times you want to be able to double spell. So.
All right, moving on. Mercy is on some sort of control deck. Certainly is a control deck. It's a 5 control deck.
There are a lot of cards here.
They're playing a Fear of the Star Skipper.
Wow.
Yeah.
I respect it for sure. Don't feel like
there's a lot of this deck. So what does take the throne above
Yeah.
do? When you so
Gives your base lands
so it gives you
it-
mana.
for your basics only, and then augmented. Oh, it's like it's like Thunder Road kind of almost.
It's like Thunder Road.
You get a copy of the Thunder Road.
So like the plan here is to play take the throne above and then bring up copied twice, and your opponent blows up.
Birds up actually.
Yeah, burns up.
It's really funny. It's just like burning up Ties Council and like Temeration. There's very few card multis because there's so many like after one pull, you don't have card to put here in the board.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't seem like a worthwhile trade-off. Beer isn't a good card really. It's a 5/5 with no keywords.
Do you give
And,
keywords?
like it's good for like that. And
Don't you get out
the
more?
actual that's not particularly good in combat. It's
Okay, yeah.
it also doesn't technically do anything on ETB. Like, you have extra mana lying around
Yeah, fair
in order
enough.
to actually cast something with it. Like there are really some times if you play it and it survives, you can do some cool stuff if your graveyard is set up right. I think that's too many additions for me.
I think Herdzie's deck we can't do mana where it just drops spear and then cast burning up off the graveyard, blow up the opponent, or burn opponent, as you said.
Yeah.
Like you actually have a decent number of good spots to play fear. You can live off fear if so I guess Herdzie just look at mana, which you can do with Spark Your Life. Once you control stuff.
What does 7 mana do?
Then you play fear and also cast them.
You have 7 mana and you're situate. If you have 7 mana, I think your voice efforts needs are then 5 and a drop out of your grave.
Okay, you throw them buff, and then you play Veer, and then kind of burning up your bolt, burn the opponent.
That's true, I guess.
You can take the throne buff, copied burning up, and then now we go Veer, copied burning up.
Well, you won't be able to do like take the throne above burning up at the same
Okay,
turn because
fair-
they share
fair
a red
enough.
pip.
Yeah.
There's no way to weird.
I
I
think
think it's
much,
cool.
I think.
I respect someone putting this board. That's cool.
So what Fit is here for, because I do not understand why they're playing this card.
I think like there's so many choices that even are like there's gotta be a better like Boros card than Pivot Fist to Medicine. There's gotta be another way.
And they're playing Rip Apart in the sideboard, right? Like, it's really that better than...
Yeah,
maybe
like-
this is good at aggro.
Maybe?
Like, your opponent access to guys you fight in, you sell guys with one card.
For 3 mana, just roll a bunch.
Well, no, Melch just guys.
Just by the renewal.
But I know it's 3 guys, which is because if your opponent has that.
Just run I forget the card's name. The one with kicker.
It's not
But
Boros.
no one's run like Shell Drain's Age.
It's
Yeah.
Boros.
Well, yeah. No one's run. Man, it's always seen Shell Drain's Age.
That card just has a renewal.
I think burn changed so much is the thing. Like, I don't know if it could be a make like 3 toughness creatures got a spend. Either renewal got an and also end up making mana on a spell like that doesn't make a lot of sense. And then Lunch is efficient because they're creatures right now.
You have 3 protect the sound, you block it, and you blow up their other 3 toughest guy that they didn't attack with.
Yes, but like there's 190 cards in the format that are Boros. And that's just specifically Boros. I don't know if Veer cares about specifics. I just feel like it's gotta be another way.
There probably
Yeah,
is.
because it's exactly each color pair.